I exaggerate.
Yeah, I know, but you also terrify me.
Me? Really? I never get that.
Do you notice how my facial expression changed?
No, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm scared right now, like a little girl. I'm
Yeah,
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just playing.
big audiences make you nervous.
Huh?
All big audiences make you nervous. All 8 people that are tuning in right now.
Human beings in public. I'm kidding. No,
That's why
I'm
you do
kidding.
telesales, right?
That's fair point. I don't want to talk about it. It's personal.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Ooh.
Well, Jeremy,
Yes,
welcome
sir.
on, brother. Appreciate you hopping on here. I know you're busy as hell. You're making calls before we hopped on here, so
Yep.
means a lot for you to come on the channel and share everything with everyone.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Tim, you and I have had good interactions, just primarily messaging on Facebook Messenger, and then Julian and I, we had a phenomenal. I'd like to say that, which is not normal for me to say, but a phenomenal Zoom call a couple weeks ago, and I like people that I can talk business with that don't try to big dog. You know what I mean? And try to one up and all that, but just get into and grind and understand, hey, listen, if there's any kind of synergy here, we might be able to do something in the future too. But in every industry, you have so many people that just try to be like, yeah, I'm kind of, I'm just, and I'm going, get away from me.
No,
I don't
I
like
agree with that. The masterminding is like, it's really, and this is one thing too about, and I think this is probably why you've had such a successful month, which is what we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into that in a moment. But I think one of the biggest things that I've kind of taken away from my experience in business, and kind of like honestly just taken away from my interaction in general, is just that when you share and you are open to be shared with.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, like kind of like you said, you mentioned, I don't know if that was like before we went live or not, but you mentioned like the big dog thing. Like whenever people just try to come in, steamroll you, and then just tell you about how they're the best and they do everything, like those people hit a ceiling. It's the people that are willing to be humble, learn from others, and take that information and apply it that are going to actually be succcexful. Like I don't claim to know everything. Tim definitely doesn't. You don't. Like, I don't
do.
No, God, hell no.
For a mastermind, it was awesome.
Yeah, and or people, and just to piggyback on that and give you all the credit because I was absolutely on point, or the people that come at you that aren't doing jack and say, dude, tell me what you're doing. I need to know everything. I'm like, you haven't earned the time. And it's not to be rude. It's saying, dude, you don't get to come up to me and say, tell me what you're doing unless you've been either alongside me or unless you humble yourself and say, I'm struggling. I'm sucking right now. What's working. I would just love to pick your brain, and it's not because I'm incredible or Jesus Christ or anything, but that's how I've always approached somebody who's doing more than me, because they're much more apt to actually give you that time versus coming in and being demanding. Some people say the squeaky wheel gets the grease, which is true, but squeak with humility. Don't be so meek that they don't get you, that you can't get their attention, but also don't come in and try to act like you deserve something you haven't done a damn thing to earn. That's my perspective.
100%.
Speak with humility.
100%.
Right.
Well, Jeremy, I'm gonna jump right
humility.
into this.
We need to make a T-shirt.
I'm gonna jump right into this because I think I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like when I saw your post on Facebook, I was like thinking one of three things. Either this guy is completely full of shit, he's absolutely insane, maybe even a little mentally ill, or one of the hardest workers in the insurance industry. So, I mean, which of the three is it? Because maybe it's a blend of all three. I don't know, but what's the answer here?
You have to be a little full of shit to do anything that's worth a damn and be successful at it, because the only way that you actually build any kind of rapport at times is being a gigantic dork and just being full of shit. And I'm not saying like in a slimy, sleazy way. This industry has way too much of that. That's part of the reason when I work with people, I am overly transparent about exactly what I'm going to do, exactly what I'm going to accomplish for them, etc. Because I cannot tell you, I put in posts on your guys' group. I flip probably 15 to 20 policies a month from people that should never be in this industry.
Yeah.
Because they're just snakes and I can't stand them. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm an adamant believer that about half of the agents, and I say that loosely, should not have a license. It's been too easy for them to get, and they just go out there and they just lie. I mean, I literally had a couple last month in Montana who 75-year-old and 80-year-old, and I think that this will help you understand why I go to war for my people, is that they told me they each had $100,000 in coverage. Okay, and I was like, what are you paying? The wife's 75, the husband's 80. Is like, how much is your premium? She goes, oh, it's only like $260. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I was like, you do not have $100,000 each. And it was through American Income Life. I have no problem saying that name. Okay. I said, can we call them real quick? Do you have your paperwork? She goes, I can't ever find it. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. Okay. Can we call them? Sure. So we jumped on a 3-way. So you're going to have to give me your social and everything. The husband's policy, 80-year-old husband, his policy had already been canceled. Okay. His policy was 97, but it had already been canceled about 6 months earlier. She was paying $260 for $13,000 just on herself with a 2-year graded period.
Oof.
Yep. So I got them each 15 for the same price, and now they think I'm Jesus Christ.
That's absolutely insane. It's what's sad is like that's somebody's grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And if he'd passed away and you hadn't just picked up the like, and here's the thing that's beautiful about what we do. If you just hadn't picked up the phone, if you just decided to be a lazy agent, and you were just like, you know what?
That's most days.
I'm not going to work or whatever. Like, dude, that lady would, and her husband, like, I mean, he's 80. That guy's not far. I mean, he's got 1 foot in, you know what I mean? And like, dude, I mean, I had a similar situation in the past. I won't dive down that, but like, it's absurd what they'll tell these poor seniors. Yep.
And it's just they're smooth talkers. If you guys have figured out anything about me, Tim, with our brief interaction prior to jumping on here with that little line I threw at you, I am not a smooth talker. I'm not. So when you ask, am I full of it about my production? No, because I'm an absolute adamant believer that if you lie about that, it's going to come back to haunt you, and it's going to come back to wreck your reputation. Nobody's going to want to work with you. Okay.
100%.
Am I potentially off a little bit mentally? Yeah. Yeah. You have to be if you work as much as we do. And but I mean, you look at anything that anybody's built that's worth a damn, they're going to be, I mean, people call them sociopaths. I'm like, they're just so insanely focused. You don't get it. That's all it is. Do I work hard? I always believe I can do more. And so I don't ever think I'm doing enough. And some people say, give yourself a break. I'm like, okay, cool. Stop bitching about being broke all the time. Then,
Truth.
all right, no. All right. Then I'm going to keep working. And that's just how I approach it. I got into this because I believed, like with what you guys are doing with Zoosurance. Sorry, I had to. And
that's actually how we say it.
That was
that's
for
exactly
you do with the shoulder shimmy. God bless you. I knew I was on point with this. You guys, what's up? Johnny, dude is a dog. Johnny, I just wish I had your hair. I swear to God, if I could just walk outside and pull one of those and just feel the Nitafan flowing, better day in my life. But
go to Turkey.
No, I've been there actually. Yeah, I've been all over Turkey.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Istanbul, Trabzon, Izmir, Cappadocia, Ephesus. We actually sat in Ephesus and read the book of Ephesians in the amphitheater in the ruins of Ephesus. It was pretty cool.
That's so cool. Kidding.
Yep. So I'm old, bro. I know I'm on a little bit of a rant, so forgive me, but
you're good.
I always believe you can do more. And like with Zoosurance, I'm honest to God. Hopefully nothing you're going to tell me, Julian, is going to make me cry, but I'm excited because transparency is the only way we can go anywhere with this industry moving forward. I mean, you have to be, and I'm not just talking about how freaking pale I am. So
I'm in the same boat. The lighting's just helping me. But on the topic of leads, I'm actually curious, and I think the 32 people that are watching this at the moment probably are asking the same question. Like, what lead source are you using to write $92,000 in annual premium? Like, where are you getting these people to talk to?
Social media.
And how many leads does that take too?
Last month, I only had 820.
Okay.
Yeah. I had 820 leads come through for my campaigns.
Okay. And so, I mean, what average agent closes at about let's say 10%. So that's like 80 policies. And then what is that? Like you're writing some referrals on top of that, or where's the extra premium coming in?
Because and I hate the phrase telesales, and I'm not saying it to be rude. I just because I'm not selling, I'm writing, I'm helping protect. Like as cheesy as it is, that's how I approach it. And I suck at these interviews, by the way, because I know I'm supposed to be looking up at the camera, but I keep ducking my head. So if anybody thinks that no, I'm special, you're not wrong. You with the telesales thing, if you're not booking at least 15 appointments daily, then because you got to think, you got to bank on if you're booking 15 a day, half of them are going to no-show you. If you expect 2/3 of those people to show up, you're going to quit this industry.
Yeah.
I mean, plain and simple, you got to expect 50 to 60% to no-show, have to reschedule. You have to. So you have to stack the deck. And then your follow-up game just has to be absolutely manic. To be absolutely manic. And so, 8, but, you say 100 a week. So it's 400 out of the 800 we book, but then, say half of those actually show.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking at roughly, when you break it all down, 45% closing ratio when you actually do the numbers without having my stats in front of me, because I keep track of that crap. Right. Nitafan tries to pick my ear on that all the time. I don't ever give him the actual numbers. You appreciate it. God bless you, Johnny. God bless you. But that's how you have to look at it. You have to break it down.
Sack the deck. I don't think I've heard that one.
I will sack the hell out of somebody if they don't sign up. I'm kidding. But that's just, you have to look at it that way. And so many people say, well, I only want to run like 8 a day. Okay, cool. Then you're going to make 25 to 30K at the most. But just understand, you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Good job. Spelling check. Appreciate you. That's how I look. That's just how I've always built it. I have, obviously social media leads. I still do mailers, and it's because I don't believe that one thing is always going to be the answer. We've trended in the social media direction, but everything is secular. I can't even talk. Everything goes in cycles. And so it's an ebb and flow. Referrals, of course. This last month, because I got sick as hell for about a week and a half, I did not pump a lot of referrals, which is hysterical during that last week and a half, because the last full week of July, I did 35 and no referrals. And I was literally just trying to make it through the day so I could go to sleep. Yeah. Sounding like I was about to drop a lung in the trash can while I'm on the phone with clients. It was bad.
Jeez. Maybe they just thought you had like a super
sympathy sales
baritone voice or something.
No, this is normal. I've
That's
sounded
what I'm saying,
like
when you were sick, like if you were just like crazy deep low.
No, I said it was higher because I was
high pitched.
I was so nasally.
Got it. Like 7th grade. Yeah.
It was man, it was bad. It was bad. Hey guys, can you? It was terrible.
Jeez.
Oh,
I like
still wrote 35.
Yeah.
I like Brian Moore's attitude. He's talking about no excuses, stack the deck, manic follow up. I love your energy, Brian. Keep it up, man.
Yeah. There were times if I had a no-show, my butt was in the shower with a Vicks vapor bomb sucking in the steam. Everything I could do to just keep going. I hate hot tea, and I drank that like it was whiskey.
Yeah.
So not water, whiskey.
I'm gonna jump to a question that if you're comfortable answering, feel free to answer. But if you're not, that's totally fine. We can move on. But I think if you are willing to answer this,
is it about my body weight? I don't want to talk about
it. I guess depending on like how you store things, but how much, if you're writing 92K, how much of that is like actual profit? Because the thing is with this industry, people will throw out these big numbers like, oh, there was a whole IMO that had a lawsuit about this. This agent made X amount, but what are you actually like? Revenue is not profit, and that's something I think people get kind of confused
especially
on
in this
insurance
industry.
Business.
Especially
100%.
in this industry, yeah.
100%. So like 92K, that's like a shit ton of premium. Are you making like $9,000, or are you like, what is the
Do I
actual
have
profit
everybody
on that?
charge back?
Yeah,
No,
like, are you
I'm
just
very.
writing all debit cards?
Oh my God,
what's
no!
the situation here?
Holy crap! People that pay with a debit card or a direct express card,
Yeah,
I'm on them with text messages and follow ups infinitely more than anybody else
yeah,
because of the fact that they don't track their money. I mean, they're totally dependent on Uncle Sam, so they don't budget. You
yeah.
know, I yeah. So if I have one of those, I'm constantly all over that.
Yeah.
But as far as my, I haven't had a chargeback yet from the month of July, and part of it
Okay.
I'd like to believe is what I do after I actually write a policy, which I'm not saying on here because that's a little trade secret. And if anybody wants to join the team, let me know. Then you'll learn. But otherwise, nope. Part of it is that helps with, huh?
I totally just missed all of that. I don't even know like what the trade secret is. Like,
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying it. No, there's something that I do that's very, very specific for my clients. After we get an application in place, we get the approval, everything to help persistency. There's something very specific that I do with each of them, and I believe that has played a big part in it. But the way that I break it down, so I'll jump onto my calculator right now. So $92,000, right?
Yep.
When you say that, and the IMO that we were mentioning, where they say, the average monthly premium is $100, so that's $1,200 a year. So you take that times 1.0. That's not how that works, man, because you've got graded, guaranteed issue, all that. So the safest way to figure it out is you take whatever you wrote times 0.65. That's the absolute safest way to do it, because some carriers are going to give you 110, 150, 120% of whatever that annual premium is. But then you go to like AIG guaranteed issue, you're looking at 55 to 60, maybe 70, right? So the safest bet is always taking it times 0.65. That is a much more realistic number. And then once I write a policy, it goes into a spreadsheet, okay? Because for the month, I've got each week on a different page, and then I pump, and I will say this, and I'm not saying this because it's a trade secret. This is just being freaking organized. And then I put when that initial premium is set to draft on my calendar, okay? And I know how those carriers pay out, like, what day of the week, or if it's, within 48 hours, whomever the carrier is, I know how they pay out. So I know exactly when to expect that, and to make sure my client knows your premium's about to hit. Remember that, and let them know a few days ahead of time so that they're like, oh, thanks.
So you're manually texting them?
No, I set up automated reminders for it. I've built all that so that I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's just, and that's not even a trade secret. That's just common sense. Like if you literally write a policy and just walk away from it, okay, cool. Expect it to go wrong.
Right.
Now, are there times where 3-4 months down the road, I've gotten an email and I'm like, are you serious? And I have to hunt them down? Yeah. But that's business 101. It's no different than you own a rental and somebody's late.
Real quick, guys, we got a question, and I wanted to also mention something as well. Guys, if you're getting value out of this, if this is something you'd like us to continue doing, would you mind dropping us a like, just so we know to keep doing these, and if you want us to, at least we'll know that way. And then also, Tony Torres says, is that 92K personal or is on your team? Well,
No,
I want you to
that's
answer
just
that
me.
question.
That's just me.
Tony just fell out of his chair, more than likely, or the chair fell out from under him.
No, that was just me. The last 3 months, I went 110, 82, 92.
Wow.
So right now I'm at 43. I just don't shut off.
Yeah.
And it's not because of the fact that I'm trying to big dog and get onto these things with you guys and be like, what's up? I'm that guy. That has nothing to do with it. There is a long-term goal and strategy behind all of it, especially when it comes to like hiring agents, etc. Because too many times somebody will do 30K a month, 2 months in a row, and then they start trying to hire 9, 10 people. They have no business doing that. They don't have enough in the bank to be able to do that kind of stuff. You know, what are you expecting? Your upline is going to take care of it all for you now, because you got to train these people. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, that makes
100%.
Yeah. So your production takes a giant dump. Your upline says, what's going on? You're like, well, I'm training all these people. And he's like, well, I'm not footing the bill. It just doesn't make sense from a long-term strategic mentality.
Yeah.
So that's why when somebody's like 2 months in and they're recruiting, I'm like, well, dude, what are you doing? You're broke.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very common, and that's one of the things Julian and I kind of preach again is like against is recruiting too early, because that's a mistake that we made when we first came on, and it cost us a lot of money.
Yeah, because then you're going to tell those people to sign up for America Eagle.
Yep.
Dude, America's
100%.
hilarious.
So what to write 92K? What are you like? What does that cost in leads? Are you spending like $9,000 getting 10x, or
Yeah, that's what I spent last month.
$9,000 to write 92K?
Yeah, that's been my lead spend for the last 3 months.
Is $9,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just do not stop on follow up everything.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like follow up, because I started taking these assurance leads and I'm calling them and like, dude, if they cuss me out, tell me to kick rocks. Like I'm not really getting much of that, but if I do get anyone who like hangs up on me or whatever, like I'm just literally like next day.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
yeah,
just literally relentless.
I'm sorry, I did.
No, go ahead.
One of my CRMs, I can hear it.
I think you got a call or something that came through. It looks like. No, we can't hear it.
Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second.
There we go.
Yeah, we got you now.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear it. I know exactly which CRM it is, because that is a loud. That's like Adam's Family loud in my ears right now. Holy hell. Yeah, I don't know who's trying to call me, but I'll get back to you, buddy. But as a follow up, yeah, I mean, every day I have full transparency. I do have a dialer because I can't handle all those myself when they come in. Okay. So, and it's just because it just helps me stay like at the end of every day, I'll go through everybody that no showed. Right.
Yeah.
And throughout the day, I have a Word, because I have 2 screens. So I've got a Word document that I'll pull up. If somebody no shows, their name goes on there. So at the end of that day, oh yeah, Julian, you have no idea. If you saw my system, it's crazy. But it's learning how to be extremely, extremely efficient by yourself, so that you hold yourself more accountable, because if you don't, it's going to all fall apart. Okay. And a lot of people don't think like that. They're like, oh, I'll just dial as many as I can. Yeah, that works. But if you want to actually have a higher closing ratio, if you want to actually make more money, et cetera, you have to have systems in place and stick to them. Yeah. So I have all that for the week on a Word document, and then I put all the names. As soon as somebody no-shows, they're on there. Okay. So the next day, that immediately the next morning gets sent to my dialer. So he knows, hammer those guys. And I'm going to do the same from the previous day. And then I've got, the previous week's no-shows as well, if I haven't been able to get in touch with them. And it's never hateful. I mean, I had a lady called her, and we've cussed on here, so nothing too crazy, right?
Yeah, you're good.
We're good.
Cool.
Okay. Bro, we're already like way past demonetized. It's fine.
Okay. Way past demonetized?
Yeah, we're losing the house in the channel.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's awesome.
No sponsors. YouTube doesn't want to run ads on us. We're totally blacklisted.
Funny. But it was, what the fuck did you want? And I said, well, personally, I'd like to see the Chiefs back in the Super Bowl, a full head of hair, and to lose some weight. How about you? And she was like, I really don't want to laugh at that because you've called me so many times. I was like, how's your day going? You just got to find ways without getting pissed off back. I mean, that's literally what it is. You just got to keep your cool. And I had a guy, back when a lot more of this was face to face, where I, because I'm based in Louisville, Texas, 20 minutes north of Dallas. And I drove to Temple. I booked a hotel room for the weekend. I was like, I'm just going to dial. But this guy was a big, big case that I could not get back a hold of. And I drove 3 hours down there and knocked on his door. He opened it up, literally doubled over. He goes, "You are tenacious." I go, "It's good to see you too." We wrote the policy.
How much was the policy?
$4,000.
Commissions or
So
AP?
this is
AP.
Nice.
So based on the cap from that carrier, it was 3.
Did you know he was home, or did you just like?
I knew his schedule. He told me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he told me ahead of time. Yeah.
I
And
mean, I
then
was going to say a 3-hour drive.
and then the funny thing is that night, I went out, full transparency, I love cigars. I went out to a cigar bar down there, and I ended up bumping into a dude who's actually become a really good buddy of mine, and I've gotten a lot of annuity referrals off of him. And he and I sat there and shot the bull, and I wrote 3 max funded IULs, 1 on him and 2 on his kids while I was there.
Monster producer. I feel like we've kind of been like hogging all of the attention because you're spitting heat.
Biggest thing is just don't be a douchebag and work. I mean, that's literally what it boils down to. If you know you got a weird personality, I do on some scales, I won't lie, but just don't be a douchebag. Be completely honest, and care.
Who do you like have as? Do you do like I know a lot of people now are like doing Zoom rooms. Are you doing any? Is it literally just one man army?
You're right. I just brought somebody on.
Rifle up front. Are you just like going to war every day by yourself, or is there an army behind you? Is it just you and the dialer? Like you guys are on the phone, or like you guys just email back and forth?
It's me and Short Round from Temple of Doom. Me and Short Round. That's my dialer. No, I just recently brought on somebody who had a terrible experience with a previous upline, and has an absolute ton of potential and just needed legitimate, consistent guidance and systems. And also because it's getting to the point with the amount of leads that I currently am generating and have that have never actually answered that we're still hammering, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
So
how many leads are you generating a day?
Well, I mean, it was just around 800 last month. Call it 30. I mean, just for safety's sake.
Yeah, 30 a day.
Yep.
There's no way you're reaching out to all of those. So you have the dialer.
No way. Yeah. Dialer, me, this person I'm actually, I'm heavily considering just handing one of the campaigns over to, just because I'm like, I don't have time for it. And, let me coach you up on this because you know how to talk to people. You just had somebody who was the old school Wolf of Wall Street mentality in this industry, and they shouldn't be in the industry anymore.
Where they just like sign up everything, snag social.
It was the BS and nonsense. Sell them a $10,000 FEX, but stack it with a $50K ADD from Moo and tell them you got them 60 kind of crap.
Oh God.
Oh, it's so bad, dude. That happens
way too much.
Oh my God, we were able to get you. This is the greatest thing ever. Then those people think that when you tell them the truth, well, how do I know I can trust you? Do you want me to send you a DNA sample? What the hell you need?
Yeah, I the worst part, I had this happen. I think we talked about this, where I had an agent that was, I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but basically this agent, like they came to me and they were like, yeah, I just wrote this great policy. And I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. How much did you get? Like super pumped. Like, yeah, man, hell yeah. You protected a family. He's like, yeah, man. So I ended up getting her like $50,000 in coverage for like $3 a month or whatever ADV is. And like, I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. And he's like, yeah, she just wouldn't go for a whole life and wouldn't go for an IUL. I'm like, oh, I mean, that's weird. I don't know why you would mention it that way. I was like, I mean, did she want term, or like, why did she end up going that? Well, she just didn't want to pay all that much for coverage. So I got her something that I just told her, it'd be permanent and that she'd be good. And I was like, dude, I told him, I said, listen, I don't ever want to hear this out of your mouth again. if you ever show up, I was like, you need to call that lady. I'm gonna trust in you that you're gonna call her and fix that situation.
Yeah.
If you ever bring this shit to my face again, I'm reporting your ass. And I don't want to, like, this is not this, like, we don't do this.
Yeah.
That is absolute. And I told him, I was like, look, here's what happens. I've come behind people like you, dogged your policy, and told them that you're a fraud.
Yep, 100%.
And
completely agree. Completely agree.
I
But when some people are going to watch this, going to say like, God, those guys are intense.
Yeah, they're crazy.
You have to have that level of integrity. Hashtag. You have to have that. Tim caught that one. Good job, Tim.
I got it.
I know, right?
Yeah,
but you have to have that level of integrity and intensity behind what you do if you're actually going to do right by people that you're serving. And that's in any business. That's business 101. That doesn't matter if it's dry cleaning, car wash. It doesn't matter. Okay. But too many people get into this industry and they're like, man, I'm going to bank. They get 10, 15K in the bank. They go out and they buy, a $2,000 rollie to go out to a freaking uptown in Dallas and try to act like they got, this downtown condo and they're still living with their mom on a freaking twin bed. But,
it sounds targeted.
Yeah,
no, sounds like a specific situation.
My God, dude, this is the land of the $30,000 millionaires over here. It's crazy. You could they have a saying here where somebody will be living in their car, but when they go out, they got a $600 shirt on. It's crazy. So
we worked in camping chairs for the first few months.
Yeah. But the whole point is you have to have that level of integrity and intensity behind what you do to do it right by your people. One little nugget that I'll throw out to your listeners that I do use is when people like what Julian just talked about. Man, I'm so glad you told me how to say your name because I was just going to honky the hell out of it for the rest of my life. And is that when people, they get into this mindset of, well, but Colonial Penn. And I'm like, no. First off, the only reason that you believe what they say is because you don't read the fine print. I do. And I actually have. I've read all the fine print on Colonial Penn and Globe Life, so I can tell people exactly what it really is. And then when people say, well, but what if I wanted to negotiate prices? I'm like, do you remember when Progressive came out with their Name Their Price tool about a decade or so ago? Yeah. Have you ever actually done that online? Yeah, I tried it. That was a scam. That was just marketing. I said, yeah, because what happened when you lowered your price and you wanted to name your price? What happened? Your coverage went down, didn't it? How do you think this is any different? They're like, that makes sense. I'm like, so I'm not trying to do you dirty on any scale. I'm trying to help you, but I'm not going to blow smoke up your backside, rub your shoulders, and call it sunshine.
Dude, how many of these one-liners do you have?
Dude, there's so many, man. There's so many. This guy has so many, man. We talked on the phone for
2.5 hours.
Bro, we were talking about because everything, man.
One-liners are definitely not that's not gonna change your business. But if I'm an insurance prospect and someone says that shit to me, dude, I might buy just because of that. I'm usually not the fan of one-liners or. But dude, I don't know. I think I think that.
Can I tell you the worst one I've ever said during a call with a client, and I'm surprised they didn't hang up on me?
I would say no, but we're already way past demonetized. So
yeah. So no, they were telling me about their past experiences, how negative they were, etc. And I was just getting heated because I was like, you can't do people dirty like this. You just can't. And I was silent because I'm taking notes, because I've got fillable PDFs that I created. So when people say, oh, on your paper, I was like, I don't use paper anymore. I don't need that crap stacking up all over me. It's all digital and saved on external hard drives and all that. Yeah. And this person was like, you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm just taking notes. They said, what's going on? I was like, oh, I'm frustrated. We okay? I was like, yeah, you're fine. It's just the person you dealt with before me. Well, I was like, so I broke down everything that they told me back to them, and I explained how it was all just absolute BS. They're like, oh my God. I said, yeah, idiots like this make me want to drop kick a midget in front of Jesus. Yeah.
And she didn't hang up.
That's
No,
good.
she laughed her ass off, and we wrote the policy.
Nice.
I was like, oh, we have another heathen on the phone. Go team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I want to open it up a little bit to the agents in the chat because obviously,
Yeah,
like, by
100%.
the way, thank you so much for sharing your time with us and them and everything. It's always,
thank you guys for the opportunity. I'm very close to the chest with a lot of what I do, not because of the fact that I don't care and don't believe that people could that I could help, but it's because of the fact that I worked my ass off to build it. I am not giving that away for free.
Yeah, no, and that's okay too. You know, it's like, I think just for the questions that you are willing to give away answers on, like a lot of people can benefit from that.
Mhm.
And then, so if you're an agent watching this right now and you're wondering how, I mean, you said you had $110,000 month in premium, a $92,000 month. And what was the other one?
82.
And an $82,000 month. That's more than most people's annual production in 3 months. And the craziest I'd ever heard of was 400K in 6 months off of a book of business, which is like, you know, kind of a hack.
I
So,
live like I'm broke on purpose. That's the other thing. Way too many people, they start making money, they start trying to spend it. Don't do that. That's stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't keep money and grow it that way.
So what questions do you guys have here for Jeremy while we have him on here? I know there's probably some things you guys are wondering. He said three Vibin says best lead source you've seen for either buying or self-generating.
Both. Honestly.
Facebook, direct mail. I think that's kind of what he's asking. I'm not sure.
Sorry, I just got a text from a client. No, all my stuff is Apple. So like when somebody texts me, it pops up on all my screens.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse. No, if he's asking, if you're looking for like just volume, then if you're just looking for volume, then there apparently he's in a band too. This guy, 63 years old. He's in a rock band. You can't hate. That's awesome. I can't be mad at that at all. But if you're looking for just volume, because I do truly believe elite is elite is elite is elite, because I've had the most high intent 12, 13, whatever points of data, and I call them, they're like, I didn't fill that. Bleepity bleep 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 bleep. Stop bothering me. I was like, I got it 45 seconds ago, dude. So if you're looking for volume, vendor, because they'll give you, 30, 60 day old leads, cheap as hell. If you're looking for, because you can't say exclusivity. I hate it. As bad as it sounds, that same person filled out 5, 6 different things, whether it's a mailer or online, if that makes any sense. So, best lead source, and forgive me, 3 Vibe, and I know you're going to say this guy's an idiot. He's not answering my question. Give me a lead. I honest to God don't care. I know that sounds weird, but I don't care. I still do mailers. I still go on to full transparency. FFL is one of my IMOs. I'll still go on to their ILC sometimes and just buy like 100 cheap freaking leads, and just dial the hell out of them. Or I'll give them to my dialer and say, hammer these. And people say, why, if you're also generating your own? Because of the fact that, why not? Do you have any idea? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know we have some more popping up here. I have a question for you. Double dials or triple dials? One of the biggest debates that I've seen go off in insurance.
That's the dumbest debate on the planet. That's the dumbest thing. Well, but your chances of them answering on the third one, dude, double or triple, it doesn't care. Just constantly dial. Just constantly dial. I've had my guy get cussed out 2 or 3 times, and then they book.
In SD, bro. Never stop dialing.
Yeah. Do you build people to duplicate the money you've made, or do you just produce yourself? Oh, that's asking if I have a team right now. It's just me right now. I want to build. Like I said, the biggest thing is just saving to get to the point that as I do start hiring and building people, then I'm not losing steam so much on my end. It's not costing me as much, because that's the biggest mistake we were talking about people make, is they start recruiting too early. And I'm like, well, you have to allocate so much time to train this person. They're not just going to come in as a freaking diamond in the rough immediately. Especially if they've had a bad experience, you're going to have to break their habits,
100%.
So I am starting to slowly build, but it's because I don't want to do what a lot of agencies and IMOs do, where they are like, we're just hiring like crazy. And then all of a sudden you see all these people walking around smelling like they use Summer's Eve as their cologne because they're douchebags. And I can't stand them.
Yeah.
So, yes, I am building. It's very selective right now.
Okay. And then 3 Vibin said, what vendor do you purchase from the most? I think probably Facebook?
Yeah.
Like buy direct from Facebook?
Yeah. There's a lot of them that I talk to. I mean, there's a ton of them that I talk to. So that's why when people say, like on the Slack group that I'm in, what's your lead source? Dude, if I tell you what my lead source is and then you go in and you buy a crap load of them that I could be touching and you don't do shit with them, why would I give you that? Come learn from me how to do what I've done.
I have another question. I know a lot of people are probably like dying to know, what script do you use? I know everybody's like wondering. They have to know, what script are you using?
I created my own over time.
Is it like the skeleton of like, do you follow a certain methodology or anything? Like, I know Alex Hormozy does like closer stuff like that. Are you following any methodology specifically, or is it literally just like
the funny thing is, I love that guy, and I've never listened to any of his stuff as far as closing goes. Not once. I have not. Jeremy Minor a little bit I've listened to. I've never listened to Hormozy, but it's a lot of his tonality, because of how I sound. If I don't soften it up sometimes until they get to know me, I would scare the hell out of them, especially older ladies. So I have to go from like what we're doing right now to like say it was like Julia. Like, hey Julia, this is Jeremy Hayes. How's your day going?
Yeah, throw on the little
you have to. Otherwise it scares the piss out. But I've developed my own script over time. Now that you said Hormozy, and I haven't ever actually like dug into him, I'm gonna definitely do that. Definitely do that, because he is a monster. And the clips that I do listen to him on, I'm like, God, this guy's a genius. How the hell? He is a genius. Again, Minor, just with the way he says things, his tonality and whatnot, the way it's so cheesy on his videos, but he sounds a lot better than that when he's actually talking to somebody. And if you can adapt to it, it's really good. Otherwise, it's been more keeping things insanely simple, as less salesy as possible, and more problem solver.
I like
that makes sense. So that's how I started. I'd go back and I would listen to my calls, and there are times where I'm looking in the mirror going, you dumb son of a bitch. Really? That came out of your mouth? Okay, cool. And I start making notes to fix it, for rebuttals and all that stuff, overcoming objections. So, because when I first started, dude, the number of times I was deer in the headlights, you could have built a house if they were bricks.
Oh, for all of us.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
I got a question. I'm really curious about, like, what does an average day look like for you? Because we're talking a lot about tenacity and hustling and whatever, but like, what time are you getting up? When are you hitting the phones? How long are you on the phones for? Like, are you doing this in 8 hours? Are you doing this in 12? Are you doing this in freaking 20 hours? Like sleeping 4 and dialing while you sleep? Like, what's the day actually look like?
Average is I'm up typically by 5 a.m. at the latest, and then I'm getting started for the day. And when I say that, like at the end of the night, when we get done, I've got 2 more appointments after we get off of here, because they're in Alaska. And so I'll run those, and then I'll start prepping for tomorrow, getting all my fillable PDFs ready with the people that have already been booked or follow-ups that I know I need to hit. And so what I do is, like, Adobe is pissing me off right now because it glitches a lot right now and it's slow. But I'll have all of those lined up on tabs, so that instead of having to get on a new piece of paper or pull up something, it's just right there. Just go click, 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 click through them. I set all that up. I finish. If anybody self books over that night, I'll do the same thing the next morning with them. But I'm either on the phones or in an appointment at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Period. I don't care. If it's Eastern Standard Time person, they book at 8 a.m. I'm on at 7. So there's variables there, like tonight, or if I have somebody who lives in freaking Hawaii, but I'm 8 a.m. Central. I'm either in an appointment already or on the phone. I've already sent a message off to my dialer through our Google Sheets to let him know who he needs to hammer immediately, and then we really had to work on time zones there for a little while because he was just so eager to just hammer everybody. I was like, dude, don't call people in California at 8 a.m. You'll piss them off.
Is he U.S. based or you have like Filipino?
No, he's U.S.
U.S. based.
He's just young and hungry. So young and hungry. And so then I go through that. People say, like, when do you take a break and you can go eat lunch at my desk?
Quest bars.
At my desk, baby. Coffee's in a big Yeti, so I don't really have to get up and worry about that. It's it's unfortunately, if you had to parallel it but make it funny, it would be like that South Park episode, Make Love Not War, where they're playing World of Warcraft. They're just sitting there. But it's literally, my day is set to end at 7 p.m. Central, but if I have those rare occasions where I need to get to somebody who's in a different time zone, or I've had people on the East Coast that are like, dude, I work until like 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Is that too late? Nope, we're good. So I have a set schedule, and I'm a firm believer that if you don't have a set schedule and a set system, you don't have your follow-ups ready to go for the next day and the next week, whatever the case may be, then when something doesn't go right, you literally go off the rails. I have all that set up so if something doesn't go exactly as it is on my calendar, then I can pivot without really losing a step. So
most of like, are your dialer setting appointments for you just throughout the day?
Yeah, and he does that. He does it more that way right now because I've been very fortunate. I don't want to sound arrogant by any means on those things. I've been very fortunate to have a lot of self-booking. So when that happens, he can't do a live transfer to me.
Right.
And so he just has to schedule him. But I tell him to try to call me regardless. You know what I mean? So if he can catch me, great. I'll take him right there.
Got it. So it's like if he can call you and transfer it over, he's doing that
all day.
If not, he's booking an appointment for later.
100%.
Got it. That makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
Makes a ton of sense.
But like tomorrow, there's 16 right now. Thursday, there's 10. And I send them just little texts when I'm in, like, transitioning, just so that they don't sit there and forget. Because I have reminders. Yeah, there's the automated reminders, but send them something a little more personal.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't just sound robotic. You know what I mean? 100%. Otherwise, it's where you get a crap load of no shows.
Do you double book?
All day. If I can. Yeah, if I can. Like Facebook was playing with me this last weekend a little bit. It was playing with me, and so the lead flow for Monday and Tuesday has been a little lackluster.
Sure.
It's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But so I just told my guys, like, okay, cool. We haven't gotten a whole lot of new ones in over the last 3 days, so just here's a list. Go hammer the living hell out of these guys, and then get back to work on what we haven't been able to get in touch with. So, you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
That's it.
Proactive, not reactive.
Yeah, if you're reactive, dude, get out of the business. Go get a 9 to 5.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that to be an ass. That's just reality.
No, it's just it's not even the harsh reality of it. It's just facts.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. I know you're busy, so I think we got time for one more question, and then we'll let you get back to calling these Alaskans and Hawaiians.
Well,
so
I
we can
appreciate
get
it.
you-
Hopefully somebody's gotten something out of this, and they don't just think I'm a giant prick or that I'm insane. So if they do, cool.
Hey, it is what it is, man. You can't please everyone.
Nope.
But I gotta say, me personally, I've gotten a ton of value from it. I
Yeah,
would
me as
love
well.
to talk to you more, just to bounce back and forth. We're big systems guys, so
Yeah.
I think we could probably learn a lot from each other.
You have to have the work ethic for the systems to actually do anything worth a damn. You can have all the systems in the world, but if you're lazy, it don't mean shit. All right. You can have all the work ethic in the world, but if you don't have the understanding that you have to constantly refine your process, you're going to become an old dog. I mean, look what happened to Kodak when the dude tried to pitch them on the digital camera in '75 and they turned it down. They don't exist
they
anymore.
invented it.
They don't exist. He took it to Sony.
Well, I think it was their R&D team that made it.
It was their head of their R&D team that built it, took it to the board and said, "This is the direction cameras are going." They said, "Nah, we're good." And then so he went and pitched it to Sony.
Boy, that feels like what happened at our old IMO with digital leads.
Yeah. I mean, anytime I see somebody from an IMO just say, "Just buy more," I'm like, dude, you're missing. That is like a fourth of it. That's literally maybe 25% in this industry now.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Otherwise, you're missing the boat.
Well, Jeremy, thank you so much. I'm going to close this out here. I know we've taken up quite a bit of time here. Really appreciate it. Ladies and gents, if you like this content, if this was helpful for you, just drop us a like or throw a subscribe on the channel if you want more like this. If not, don't do that. That'll let us know which way we need to go. But if this was helpful, if you don't mind doing that for us, we'd appreciate it. And if you want to learn more about the branded leads, the Zoosurance branded leads that we offer,
I do,
and how you can get access to those using our system at Advanced Agent Marketing,
I do.
You can click the link down below. I think Tim, if you can drop a link for us real quick, you can also
see what I can do
there to learn more. So he'll
also real quick. If people want to learn more about working with Jeremy, where can they go?
They can call me. My direct line is, and I'm not kidding on this, it's 469-469-5581. 469-469-5581. That's the easiest way to do it. Send me a text. We can go from there. 469-469-5581. When I moved to Texas and changed my business number to a DFW area code, and I got that, I was like, I'm either going to look like a friggin' telemarketer or this is the easiest thing in the world to remember.
And that was for listening at 5581.
469-469-5581.
Your phone's about to blow up, dude. You probably are getting notifications right now.
Not even close. Some people probably think I don't want to work for that asshole.
Yeah, probably some, but those people probably aren't going to make it in the industry. So it is what it is.
It happens.
Cool. Jeremy, we'll keep in touch. Appreciate you hopping on here.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's always humbling to be able to speak with you. So greatly appreciate the opportunity.
Likewise.
Thanks for your time, man.
Absolutely. I'm going to get back to work. Take
care.
Let's roll. Peace.
Yep.